Hey everybody, what do you guys think of the new light? I added a light to the set. Does it make the video look different or not really? I'm gonna jump right into it today because today is gonna be kind of a longer video. This technique is used by many people and it makes drawing more simple. It breaks it down and it kind of like holds your hand through the whole process while at the same time you're doing it all on your own. Today we're doing grid drawings, and this is a step in the stencil process that will help your stencils grow, and so you guys can draw and do your own stencils of, well, whatever you want. And this technique isn't even just for stenciling or graffiti. My sister Caitlin and Haley both love to do this because it breaks down a drawing into, instead of looking at a big picture and like feeling overwhelmed, it breaks it down into squares, and you just draw the square and, well, you go from there. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. All you're gonna need for today is a pencil, a ruler, a piece of paper, a Sharpie, and I think that's it. If there's anything else, I'll let you know. But today, what I'm gonna be showing you how to do is how to block in shadows, because that's all stenciling is. It's just a series of realizing where shadows are and where they come from, and how you can use extreme shadows and extreme highlights to create a composition. So let's get started. So what we have right here is a gorilla yelling. There's a lot of different ways that you guys can scale pictures and stuff, but just for this instance, to save time, we're just gonna be doing it on a regular size sheet of paper and not scaling at all. So whatever size picture you print out, that's what size your stencil is gonna be. How we're gonna draw the grid for that is we're gonna make 1-inch boxes. So you're gonna go down every single side and put a tick mark at every 1 inch. And I like to do them on every single side because that's how you know your lines will be straight. Because if you choose not to do that, then your lines could be diagonal or whichever way. So just to be sure, that's why I like to do one on every single side versus just 2 sides. Once you have them all ticked out, then you're just going to go and connect all the lines. And actually, I like to use a super fine or extra fine tip Sharpie for this. It can be any color because pencil doesn't really show up that good when you're using it on the actual picture. Once you have your grid all mapped out, you're going to take a blank sheet of paper and do the exact same thing that you did here, but just on the blank sheet. And for the second one, don't use a Sharpie. For your paper, use a pencil and do the lines extremely light, especially when you're just drawing and not doing a stencil, because then you can erase your lines and, well, yeah, so do a pencil and just very light. But in this case, we're going to be cutting it out, so it doesn't really actually matter. That only kind of just goes for when you're drawing a picture rather than cutting one out. Okay, so usually I would draw these lines a lot nicer and a lot lighter, but I did them extra dark so you guys can see it so it shows up on camera, because usually you wouldn't be able to see it. But now we have 2 identical pieces of paper with markings, and basically what we're doing is you draw what you see in one box and just copy it to another. So for example, we'd count, I'll start with the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd go 5 down and 1 over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the box I'm starting with, and you just draw what you see in the box. Usually at first I just kind of like to go somewhat quick and just kind of map things out and then tweak things later, just so you can have like an idea of what things are going to look like. A good place to look is always look at the corners. That'll give you a good feel for the depth of like where the drawing is actually going to go. So here we have a super rough sketch just of basically where everything goes, and it's not, your goal is not to make it look very good here. You're supposed to just get all the shapes down and the positioning of everything, and you can go from there. So next what we're going to do is we're going to find the abstract patterns which make the shadows. For example, we'll start right here. It comes down from the nose, and I actually started to do it right here. This, see how part of his nose is in the shadow, and then the reflected light kind of comes around right about here, as you can see right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that, and then it kind of, the shadow kind of falls off and then comes back around. So we're just going to simplify this as much as we possibly can and make it come around like that, and we're just going to chop it off just like that. We're going to follow this shadow around the nose, come down, and then it kind of comes back up like this. And then it comes down because of his fur and around his mouth down to the bottom. And actually we can bring this out instead of coming down. So we'll just take the eraser, erase that. So see, right now all we're doing is just mapping out, and everything right here, all this is going to be in the shadow. And that's why I like to have all different kinds of Sharpies, like, because these I'll draw the shadow lines just so I know exactly where I'm cutting. I'm doing this extremely quick. And what I'll do is just shade it in so I know. It actually already kind of gives you a feel of what the stencil is going to look like, because everything that's shaded in, that's where we're going to cut out. So that's what's going to be paint. So all in all, it's actually going to look like this once you cut it out and once it's done. So that's kind of how you know what it's going to look like before you even spray it. And you don't even have to go all out like that, because sometimes I just scribble in just so you know where you're cutting. Okay, so there's the first shadow. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest. Just find the basic shadows and mark them down just so I know where I'm cutting. Okay, and once you're done with mapping all that out, you can either erase your lines or you can just start cutting. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll usually go through and refine more afterwards, but this is just basically how I do it. This is a basic demonstration, but I'll erase the lines for you just so you can see what this is going to look like in the end. So that's basically it. I forgot to do some stuff at the top. I guess I could do, but yeah, the best way to kind of do these is realizing that you don't need lines to define things. It's all shadows, which is kind of a totally different way of thinking about art if you're not really used to doing art. Yeah, everything's defined as a shape, and that goes for any kind of drawing. That's what will help improve your drawings. By doing Stencil actually helped improve my art tremendously, because it makes you kind of see things in a different way. And this, I just basically wanted to just show you how to do a face by seeing all the dark spots, and you can see how they're close to each other, and this isn't perfect. I know I usually take a lot more time. I did this one in like 20 minutes versus spending hours on one. This should be enough to go with, and use the last video as in kind of thinking about lines, because that's something that you will get caught up on. If you're not thinking that things have to connect, then your whole thing will be destroyed. So everything has to connect in order to have the strength. So it's kind of a lot of thinking, and it's not exactly the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely unique, and people seem to like it, and it's a form of street art that I think is pretty cool. So this is available for download at my website if you guys want to do one similar to this, or if you guys want to do your own. I'm going to continue to tweak this though. So this is just a little bit of how I do my stencils. It's been the $1 million question, and now hopefully you guys can go out and try to make your own as well. So there was a step-by-step, front to back, how I make my stencils. I can't believe it's taken me this long to make this video, but here it is. The main thing to realize is that this takes practice, and lots of it. You have to practice seeing things in different ways, and it takes time, but without a doubt, if you actually like put in the work and keep trying and accept the failure as a learning experience, then your art is going to grow tremendously, and you'll be able to just bust these out before you know it, and it's just going to come second nature to you. This was a very basic What is going on? See that? My lights were just like flashing. Like, I totally lost my train of thought. This is a quick, basic demonstration, and it's gonna take a lot more time. This should take actually a few hours. To take what you learned last week about cutting and just cut out all those solid lines which you made here today of your own stencil. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped out. I hope it helped. I can't say it. I hope it helped out a lot. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe and check out my art channel. I like the pops that I put with that. That's just like a little happy part of my day. It makes it even happier when you click on them. So just remember to try things out. Basically just draw abstract shadows, draw the abstract pattern, and those are going to be your shadows that you keep. And if you still have a hard time doing that, like I said, use a photo editing software, and you can change the black and white and change the contrast to kind of see a generalization of what lines to use and what the shadows are actually going to look like. So tweet me and let me see your guys' progress. This photo is from Axpet. He kind of went rogue and already did this, so really he shouldn't even need to watch this video. This is totally sick, and this is something he created from watching our videos. So if you guys do stuff like this, make sure to tweet me, and I'll get you guys in a video, or I'll put it up on the site. Not sure yet. Click the links below to go get all the downloads available, or you can just click the links in the end slate. Not too many downloads for this video because it's all kind of whatever you want to do, but I'll put what I did up on my site so you guys can go off of that if you want, or you can go off on your own. That's basically kind of what I intended this video to be for. So that does it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.